Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the Quarterdeck Arcade. It's Sunday morning. It's May. I can't believe it's May already, May 5th. That means the Indy 500 is here upon us. Yesterday was the Kentucky Derby. Then we have a full month of activity at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, of which I will be participating next week. So yeah, show note, next week I will be in Indianapolis for the Grand Prix, helping coverage, photo coverage for a local newspaper there. And so no show next weekend, just so you guys know. Well, I've had an eventful morning. I've been fumbling with a lot of stuff. I've been working with the Battlezone kit, making sure I had all my ducks in a row. I pre-cut the artwork, and boy, let me tell you, that was scary, especially the control panel artwork, because the holes were not pre-cut. You know, this artwork, God bless Stokjock. Stokjock sent me all this stuff, the Battlezone 3D printed kit, as well as the artwork. He printed the artwork off for me, and thank you, Stokjock, again for that. I had a little conversation with him this morning already about the WaveShare 4-inch horizontal monitor, and apparently there is a 3D kit for that as well. So the Battlezone build that we're going to be doing today is going to be with a stock GRS kit. I don't have the WaveShare 4-inch monitor to replace the vertical monitor that's going to go in it. And I just remembered something else I forgot. I left my SD card image upstairs in the home office. So I've at some point, when we're ready for the SD card step, I'm going to have to go upstairs and get it. So yeah, you know, I've had plenty of time to get my shit together today. I did not work out today. I did go to the gym, and then I stepped on the treadmill, and I'm like, you know what? Not today, folks. It's just not going to happen today. And I take my blood pressure medicine like every other day. It helps maximize my workouts, but on the days that I'm on my blood pressure medication, which I currently am, it sucks the living life out of me. And so today I just couldn't work out. So I had a lot of time on my hands. 4 a.m. I was back home, and I was working in the home office, and I was setting up the show. I actually got the show set up really early this morning, and getting everything set up for the Battlezone build and making sure I had everything. And I've got everything to do a basic Battlezone build. But we're gonna do another stream down the line where I actually replace. I can't talk. I'll actually replace the stock vertical monitor from GRS with the WaveShare monitor. Stokjock has agreed to print those pieces for me and send them out to me. And once again, thank you again, Stokjock. I do not have my own 3D printer, folks. So if you want to do this Battlezone build, you're going to have to find a source for the parts, or you're going to have a friend that will print them for you using the maker space files or wherever the files are located for the 3D printers. I happen to be using Stokjock, and he's been very gracious, and I really appreciate that. So, all set up for the Battlezone build. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to chit chat here for a little bit. First of all, let's say hi to the chat. Let's see who's here. Ted Adam Green is here. Good to see you, Ted. Welcome, welcome. Hockey Town is here. Hey, Hockey Town, how you doing? Hope you got home safe and sound from last weekend's activities. It was good to meet you finally. Stokjock is here. Good morning, sir. We've already talked this morning briefly, but good morning, sir. Always glad to have you around. Let's see. They Be Me is here. Good to see you. Glad to meet you as well. Wow, he's already printing. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, the artwork was challenging. My X-Acto knife, because you have to use an X-Acto knife for those little holes that you got to cut for the controls. And it's choppy. I mean, from a distance, you're not going to notice, but up close, when you inspect the control panel artwork, you're going to, oh my gosh, who did the hack job on this? So it is what it is. I suppose there would probably been a cleaner way to do it other than an X-Acto knife. I just went with the X-Acto knife because it just seemed to be the tool to use, and maybe I made a mistake. Whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. There are all kinds of changes to Restream to me this morning. I finally got that vertical preview screen or portrait preview screen, and it just threw me off this morning. Yeah, we're friends. I would like to say we're friends. Buddy, pal, print me up some stuff. Let's see. Mike Hockhurst is here. Good to see you. Fireside Arcade is here. Good to see you. Yeah, I actually saw Battlezone. Didn't play it, but I saw Battlezone yesterday at the Garcade. And I walked my gal over to it because I told her what I was doing today, and she said I'm going to build a 1/6 scale replica of this tomorrow, and she's very, very supportive of me, and I really appreciate that. So let's take a live look at the arcade. Just let you know, nothing's really changed down here since we last spoke 2 weeks ago. Something I did do, let's see. Let's talk about down here. I spent a lot of time. I've had the last I've been off since Wednesday. Or Wednesday I worked. Thursday, Friday I had off. So I spent Thursday and Friday doing some maintenance on the At Games pinballs, the 4KP and the HD. And when I say maintenance, I mean I went out and bought every swinging Zen table that was left to buy. You know, knowing that Zen and At Games have separated their partnership, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get them and have them there. And then if I play them, great. If I don't, fine. But what I wanted to do, because up until now, up until Thursday or Friday, I did not have a USB in the back of this thing, the 4KP. All of my tables that I bought and purchased were installed locally on local storage. So I thought, well, now would be a good time. If I'm going to do this, let's go through and we'll buy ourselves a 512 gigabyte mini footprint USB. We'll partition it off. So I partitioned that USB. The first partition was reserved, 200 gigabytes was reserved for FDX, which is the flash drive X storage system, external storage system for At Games. The other half, the rest of it, on that 512 gigabyte thumbnail drive, is gonna be reserved for VPX standalone. Now I don't have access to VPX standalone. I'm working on it. I'm in Mox's Discord. I'm doing the things. I'm chatting, posting pictures of my animals, whatever gets me points to get added to the beta for VPX. So, but I'm all set. I've got the USB ready to go, mounted. Now, what I spent the day Friday doing was moving all of my locally stored tables onto the USB. And that was a tedious process because you had to go one by one. You couldn't just globally pick every swinging table you owned and move them all. Can't do that. You got to go to each table that you own and then move it. So I did the things. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to do all the tables I owned. And so once I did that, once I got all the tables stored on the FDX USB drive, I rebooted the thing and made sure all the tables worked. And then I went in and I took the tables offline. So all the tables that are now stored externally are all offline. So I should be protected, right? If at-game servers crash, I should be. The test will be when that happens again, which, at-games being at-games could happen at any moment. So, yeah, we'll see. But I'm now in offline mode on my 4KP. The one thing I did not do is I did not sever myself from the network. I kind of like seeing the high scores update. So we'll see what happens. If I lose my connection to at-game servers, we'll see if it works. Now, the HD, I actually gave some love to this weekend as well. I cleaned up a few things. I did take those tables offline too, but I don't know if it's going to work because it doesn't work the same way as it does on the 4KP. So yeah, I declared them offline, but if you go back into the offline tool on the HD, it looks as if you never took them offline. So I did it again just to make sure, but we'll see what happens. So that was at games. That's what I did down here in the arcade this past week. I did. You all saw my live stream. Well, maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. Saw my live stream. Let's see. I don't have my assets up. Let's share that out. Okay. Let's transition that back over. Let's see. Let's do that. Window share. All right. So you all may or may not have seen my live stream, but you can see here, and I now have the Pepsi and the 7-Up Numbskull Quarter Arcades in my display up in my home office. Here's the kicker. I'm running out of space. None of these on the top shelf will fit on these the shelves here. So this has all got to be GRS Battlezone or Numbskull or New Wave Toys. This is where the Numbskull stuff has to live. I'm out of space. I maybe could squeeze one more Numbskull cabinet up here if I'm very tight with the space and I smush everything together. Maybe. But I'm going to need another shelf, man. And I'm going to need to get a shelf that kind of matches the existing stuff and has adjustable shelving so that I can fit more of the Numbskull stuff as I collect them. So yeah, I love these things. I'm totally in love with the USB hubs, the Pepsi and the 7-Up. I've said it before. The reason why I got the Pepsi one is because I used to joke that my mom breastfed me Pepsi when I was a kid. So that's how long I've been drinking Pepsi. I was a kid when I was drinking Pepsi. So, going on 55 years now drinking Pepsi. I don't drink it every day now like I used to. Being I'm not a health nut, but being mindful of my health, I only drink the occasional soda now. I haven't cut it completely out of my life, but I don't drink it every day. So 7-Up, the 7-Up hub is because my mom was a big 7-Up drinker and I wanted to celebrate my mother some way, somehow in my display. And that's the perfect way to do it because she drank 7-Up religiously. with a little bit of lemon juice thrown in it. So, Mom, if you're up there listening, that one's for you. I know you probably grinned and probably shook your head, said, "I can't believe you spent that much money on it." But hey, I still think I got the better deal. I mean, last week at the Midwest Gaming Classic, they were selling it for 300, starting out at the show start, 325 a pop. So $650 for both on site at the show. These I got for $119 a piece from justgeek.com. And you throw in shipping, which is expensive from the UK, and you throw in tariffs, and it added up to around $470. So I still saved $130. Not buying them from Just Geek. A little bit about that. I mentioned it on the stream the other day. JustGeek.com does not exist anymore. Numbskull has rearranged their footprint online. So there's no more quarterarcades.com, quarterarcades.us, justgeek.com. It's now just numbskull.com or numbskull.us. So if you're looking for these hubs, which by the way, they have not, I can't find an entry for the hubs on either site, on either the .com or the .us Numbskull site. So hopefully they'll return and people will be able to pick them up again. I don't know, but I love mine. I love the fact you can press the button and a little baby soda can comes out. Pretty cool. Oh yeah. Stop sharing. Okay. Whoo-wee. Sir Sega is here. Good morning, sir. Welcome, welcome. I do like this new restream feature that kind of highlights chat messages as you highlight them. I think that's a good idea. Glad you made it back, Hockey Town. Mike of All Trades is here. Everybody say hi to Moat, folks. Hi, Moat. Good to see you. Sorry I didn't get to see you at the convention last week. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm still that space above the Numbskull stuff. I'm still reserving for artwork, and I've been doing. That's another thing I did on my days off is I looked at my the best photos from my time at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm still going to turn some of those into canvas prints, and then I'm going to hang them on the wall there. I'm also going to get an LED, probably of the IMS Speedway logo. Probably put it above that Defender. So I have ideas, but that long shelf is a good idea, but I don't know if I want to do that. So that's another good idea. Yeah, I could mount that Defender somewhere. I could mount it. There's a wall where my door opens, but the problem is I don't want to damage both the door and the Defender Partycade by someone opening the door and whacking it up in the side. So could hang it on a closet door. I still have the mounting kit, the hanging kit for the Partycade. Stokjock, I thought of you yesterday, and I was somewhere where I wasn't in position to do this, but I saw a Defender Partycade someone was selling in one of the Facebook groups. It's out there, and I'm sure somebody's already scooped it up, but somebody was selling their Defender Partycade in one of the Facebook groups, many Facebook groups I'm a member of. But yeah, if that's the case, then stop printing those. I won't proceed with the wave share monitor then, because I'm not giving up my Defender Partycade, sir. Yeah, that Guitar Hero is pretty neat, Mo. Yeah. Speaking of the Garcade, we'll talk about that a little bit here. I saw people on that Guitar Hero, and I'm like, hi. And I looked at my gal. I says, "You want to try that?" She goes, "No, I don't want to try that." I said, "I've never played Guitar Hero, never." Just like some people are aghast at me never seeing Stand By Me until recently. The same people in the gaming community would probably say, "You've never played Guitar Hero?" No, I've never played Guitar Hero. So But I was amazed by it. I almost jumped on those dancing pads on the other side of the far side of the Garcade. I wanted to get my gal to do it with me, but she wouldn't. So, we had a fun time. We really did. Speaking of the Garcade, I did share some of the photos that I took yesterday. Let's see. Share. So we did, y'all know the facade, what the facade looks like at the Garcade. Some of you were here last week. So we weren't sure what we wanted to do yesterday, but you know what? I told her, I said, I just want to get out of the house. And what was on my brain? Arcades, right? So I said, let's go to the Garcade. We haven't been there in a while. Let's go. So we did. This photo is looking back to towards the back, just having walked in from the entrance. So yeah. Leslie quickly found the Metallica pinball. This is the older generation of the Metallica pinball. It's not insider connected. Obviously, they do have a newer Metallica. Stern has a newer Metallica version out there that is insider connected, but this is the older version. The Garcade does not have the newer one. So we did what we did what we could. So we played this version of Metallica, and it's pretty nice. I like the newer one better, I think, especially the artwork. I don't get this cartoonish artwork here that they use for the band. Here, I thought of Stokjock again. I don't know, Stokjock, if when you were there last week, if you saw this artwork next to the Dungeons and Dragons pinball near the front, they had a giant Robotron alien here. And it says, "Hi, I'm Ron." So I took a picture of that. All right. Oh, you did too. Okay. I took this just so I could share it with you today. So I'm into, seeing things as a photographer. So I took a picture of the wristbands required on my lovely gal Leslie as she was playing X-Men at this point. So we did have some playtime with X-Men. I'm not a fan of X-Men, guys. I really am not. Sorry for those of you that love that Stern pinball, but yeah, here she is playing that game again. It's not even in my top 3 or 4. I love this sign, so I took a picture of this sign. Tampering with the pinball machine may result in an ass whooping you won't forget. They don't play at the Garcade, folks. They don't. I played this game and loved it. Oh my God. I did not have a chance to play this at the Gaming Classic. It was there. But as a fan of Tapper, I was equally a fan of this game. It was so fun. And I wanted to go back and play it again, but we didn't have time. We spent 4 hours there, guys, yesterday. So, and didn't hit all the things. Here she is playing Millipede. She also played Centipede. And we got some hands-on with my favorite game, Moon Patrol. And she had never played this game before, but she mastered it pretty well. So she's doing really good. Of course, before I left, I was going to hit up the Gorf machine. I should ask him if he'd sell it to me. This is this particular Gorf is actually pretty excellently maintained. The controls are actually still pretty sweet on them on this one, and I would love to have it. I would absolutely love to have it. And she grabbed my phone. I asked her to take a picture of me playing Gorf, and this is what she does. She just sticks the phone and takes a selfie. So I introduced her to Donkey Kong Jr. as well. And here she is playing Robotron. Now, she didn't do too good with this game, but she had fun with it. And I got the 4th highest score on this thing. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but I got the 4th highest. So we had fun. Pinball Row. Some of the older pinballs. Yeah, so that good times, man. I love that place. We're gonna hit up Vintage Vault next because we've never been there, and that's another stop that PD7 makes every once in a while. Oh, Danny's here. Good to see you, Danny. Welcome. Missed you at the convention last week. Let's see. Danny, we're going to build a Battlezone GRS Buildicade. That's what we're doing. We're going to change things up a little bit because some of the limitations of the artwork and pieces and stuff. Like, for instance, the side art's going to have to go on last when the thing's assembled because of that bottom piece that you set the GRS Buildicade on top of needs to have the artwork as well. Now, what I noticed in Glenn's video is he went back through and ran it looks like he ran an X-Acto knife along the seam between the Buildicade and the base, the Battlezone base, so that he could take it off anytime he wanted. So we're going to try that. Yeah, he takes great care of that place. He really does. I remember, guys, when he went in there, okay? Garcade, you know, if you don't know the gentleman, haven't heard the story, he pretty much was a collector, like many people are who open these. And he got to a point where I think he had people telling him, you know what, you should really make some money off of this, your hobby. And he was running out of space, and he thought, you know what, maybe I'll do that. So he looked around, found a big old vacant spot in Menominee Falls, and they were more than happy to help lease the space to him. And I remember him posting pictures of the blank slate that was that empty space, and to see it go from that to what it is now just is awesome. The guy has just done a wonderful job there. I have seen Mooncrest and I have played it. I can't remember the last time I played it, but I have played Mooncrest. I do have it, actually. It's back there on my multicade box, which is now running Moon Patrol right now. So could pull it up. All right. Let's see. What else do I have to talk about? I talked about that. Talked about the Garcade. Let's talk PS5 because I need some input from you folks. Okay. I picked up a lot of games. I thought I downloaded a picture. I didn't. I bought 3 games at the convention. That's and a T-shirt. That's all I bought at the convention. So maybe it's on this one. Yeah, it's in my MGC, which we haven't talked about yet. So I bought Ghostbusters. I brought Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, and NASCAR Heat 2, which are all PS4 games and all very ancient. Online servers are. I know the online servers aren't up anymore for NASCAR Heat because I looked it up. But I got hooked on NASCAR Heat. I've driven racing sims before. I've even owned a Thrustmaster steering wheel years ago, one of the earlier versions of the Thrustmaster. So I went out and I bought NASCAR 25. NASCAR Heat was a different company. It was the licensed company with NASCAR that created a game for the PlayStation and other platforms. Since 2025, iRacing.com. I don't know if any of you are familiar with iRacing, but they have been in the virtual simulation, racing simulation game for a number of years now. And now they've licensed that technology with NASCAR, partnered with NASCAR to bring some of that technology to the PS5. And so that's how NASCAR 25 was born. So I went out and bought NASCAR 25. I bought all the packs that come with it. And I played that game a little bit. And I'm like, oh my God, I love racing on the PS5. I could foresee racing being my primary gaming experience on the PS5. I'll do other stuff, of course. Yes, I will. I love Star Wars, so I'll do the Star Wars games as they come out or as I find them. But now I find myself wanting a wheel. I want a proper wheel for the PlayStation 5. Now, I've done some research, a little bit, not in depth, but everything I've read tells me that the Thrustmaster T300 RS is probably the better wheel. Logitech makes one called the G29. They also have another one, G924. I don't know the numbers. So I've been looking at the Thrustmaster and the Logitech G29. Now, the scoring by gamers on the internet all seem to lean towards the Thrustmaster T300. But I'd like to get some advice from you guys, because where this is going with me is I foresee myself getting a cockpit. Now, mind you, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it. I'm going to get something that has a chair in it. I'm going to have something that'll secure the pedals so they're not moving on the floor like most people do. They just throw the pedals on the floor, attach the steering wheel to the desk, and then they go. Okay, but I want the cockpit experience. So doesn't necessarily have to have a monitor mount. I can sit that thing, the cockpit, right in front of my desk in the home office, and then get a racing experience there. Maybe at some point I might add the monitor experience to it, but I need your advice. Those of you that have wheels for your PlayStations, tell me, what wheel do you have, and is it the best one? I guess is what I want to know, because I'm leaning towards the Thrustmaster 300 RS. So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Yeah, he's a great guy. Well, here's the thing, BMCA. I'm right now, of course, playing with the PlayStation controller. It's okay, but I'm tired of trying to steer with my left thumb. Okay. It'd be nice if I could actually do this, with the controller, but that doesn't work. So you got to steer with your left thumb, and I'd rather have the feeling of turning the wheel. So Sir Sega says, get a Fanatic. I've never heard of Fanatic. Let me look that up real quick. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, it's the overall pick at $774. Although there is one for $174. There's different versions of it. Okay, the one that's $774 is the officially licensed Gran Turismo sim racing steering wheel. See, I'd need the pedals too. Looks like that's the more expensive option. I probably should have opened with that. I do have a budget. I don't want to spend a whole lot right now. with what I'm looking at for the cockpit and the steering wheel and pedals, I'd be all in at around $800. So, and even then, I think I'm spending too much money. But thank you for the suggestion, though. I'll write that down just to look at it later. All right. And Mike of all trades says the Hori race wheel, 120. I've never heard of the Hori either. Yeah, only two I thought of was the Logitech and the Thrustmaster. Just looking at that real quick. Yeah. Only 2-pedal solution with that, it looks like. I kind of want to start getting used to shifting. A lot of folks use the automatic transmission, but I'd like to get used to actually shifting. So yeah, that does look like a good budget option right there. Might be even a good starter option if I just want to see how this is going to work. So that's an option. I wonder if they have a 3-pedal option for that. I don't know. I'll look at it later. But thank you for that suggestion, Mo. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think the max I want to go is $400 for a good wheel. The Thrustmaster 300 is with the pedals is, I want to say right around $400. Oh no, it's three something, I think. I don't know. Yeah, this is what I want to do eventually. See, that's the other thing. I do not have PlayStation Plus. So already I bumped into with NASCAR 25. If I want to do online, I got to subscribe to the service. $80 for 12 months. PlayStation Plus for the top tier PlayStation Plus service level. So I'm considering that. All right. I'm about 75% leaning towards the Thrustmaster right now. Now, what I need to make sure the Thrustmaster can be mounted to some of the chassis that the cockpits that I'm looking at getting. So I want the full experience. Sir Sega says he has a sim rig by Playseat and use a Fanatec DD Pro. All right. I love these suggestions. Keep them coming. Playseat. Sim rig by Playseat. All right. I'll look all these up later. I have not played Gran Turismo yet. I've not played any of the typical. Someone recommended me Forza yesterday. I haven't looked at anything other than NASCAR right now. I'm actually looking forward to an IndyCar version of since iRacing already has a relationship with Sony and PS5. Now I'm hoping that iRacing and iRacing was just announced as the online racing partner of IndyCar last year. So I'm hoping that a IndyCar version of their simulator comes to the PS5. I'm really crossing my fingers on that one. Guys, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the track, which is the first track I picked since I'm so familiar with it. The graphics in NASCAR 25 are just amazing. They've detailed the track pretty darn well to where I can see my photo spots as I'm going around the track. I can see the photo positions where I stand taking photos. That's how detailed they got with the track graphics. And So I really appreciated that, and that's why I love that game so much so far. I'm not deep into it, but I just love it. Mike Hawkhurst recommends Wreckfest. All right, see, game suggestions are great as well. I'm gonna write down Gran Turismo 7 too. All right. Sega says, and I'm assuming you're referring to Playseat PS5 DD Pro, or no, Fanatec, you're probably saying. All right. All right. Yeah, see, that wheel is probably out of my price range. It's got to have the cockpit with it. Well, I mean, I'll pick up the cockpit, but the cost can't go over like $800. Biggie D is here. Good morning, sir. Welcome. Yeah, I played Gorf yesterday. How could I not go to Garcade and not play Gorf? I gotta always visit Gorf when I'm there. Yeah. You know, when I decided to get a PlayStation, I knew I was going to invest some money in it. I didn't know how much, but I knew it was going to be, a fee. And I knew some of the things that I was going to want to get eventually was the VR2. So here's the order of my accessories acquisition, how I've prioritized them: a wheel and pedals, cockpit and stand for said wheel and pedals. Then comes the PSVR 2. That's next. Then I want the PlayStation Portal. And let me tell you why I want the PlayStation Portal is because a lot of times the gal and I will sit out in the living room watching movies. Okay. And it's more or less to spend quality time with one another. We'll chit chat back and forth, that kind of thing. I'd like to be able to be out there with a PlayStation Portal playing some games while we're watching whatever movie, because the PS5 is in the home office and the monitor that I use is in there. So I would love to have that portal for that, but it's low on my priority list, and it might even get bumped further as some other cool PlayStation 5 accessory comes out. But I'm doing well so far. I'm working on a streaming station upstairs in the home office as well, and I might stream some games. Might even stream some NASCAR. And I'm thinking I might have a name for these streams already, and I'm not going to let it loose just yet. It's going to be kind of a surprise. You'll know it when you see it. Oh, that's what he was talking about. I'm not going to create another channel for it. I'm just going to name the stream differently than I do this show on Sundays. Yeah, unfortunately, Mike Hawkhurst, we do not have BJs near us up here in southeastern Wisconsin. Yes, I understand that, but they were announced as uh, the PC, and I'll have to find the press release, but they were announced as the official partner of IndyCar. So with the expectation that they would create content for other platforms later, not just iRacing. If you go to the to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, iRacing actually has 5 simulators on hydraulics, even set up with 3 monitor setups for each, that you could race Indy cars around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Just scrolling through the chat. Yeah, well, I have the NASCAR Heat 2, and that got me hooked, and that's what led to the NASCAR 25 purchase, because I did more research on NASCAR, the NASCAR Heat series, and about its history, and they lost their relationship with NASCAR a year or two ago. Well, longer than that, really. The servers shut down in 2021. So yeah, the multiplayer is gone, but there's still decent games that you can play. I enjoyed playing NASCAR Heat 2. It was only $10 at the MGC. Okay, thanks for that word of warning there. By the way, welcome to the stream. Good to meet you last weekend. My PS5 is right next to my router, so a 2-footer would handle it. It's wired. It's hardwired into my router. It's right there. So, yeah. The only thing maybe is I might invest in another wireless router. I don't know. Let's see. I'm crossing my fingers, Sir Sega. I really am. They did announce it. I'll have to find that. Maybe I'll post it on the community page. Yeah. Yeah, I'll star with Brad Pitt in the next F1, right? The sequel to F1. I think the next movie, there was kind of rumors flying around it was going to be IndyCar centered. So yeah, I'll go from photographer at IMS to driver. I'm 60 years old, folks. I could fit in an IndyCar if I had to. Could I drive it? Doman is here from the Netherlands. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Imagine it's probably pretty late over there right now. Welcome. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the before we dive into this Battlezone build here. I just want to say, without question, probably the best part of the MGC last weekend, and I think most agree, is getting to hang out with everybody else that was there from the online community. And I can't say this enough, man. You guys are a great bunch of guys. I thoroughly enjoyed hanging out with you guys on Sunday. Saturday, not so. We didn't hang out so much. I spent most of my time with the gal, but we bumped into each other throughout the day, and that's one of the reasons I decided to come back Sunday, is because I really wanted to hang with you guys and have some fun, and we did, man. We really did, and it was such a great time. But the MGC, the Midwest Gaming Classic, is such a great event. I think you all know that by now. If you haven't been to the MGC, those of you that haven't been to it, I highly recommend it at least once. Make the trip and come see us, and come see anybody else that in the online community that may join you. I took a few pictures. I did not shoot much content, and I'm looking for my water and I don't have it. I must have left it upstairs. So that's two things I got to go get. I got to go get my water, and I've got to go get my SD card. I'm losing it. I thought I had my water down here, though. Oh, I guess not. Yeah, Hockeytown says it. It's so great. Such a great time. Lots to see at the MGC. As you know, there's multiple floors involved. First floor is mostly board gaming. So if you're into that, I mean, they got a whole floor dedicated to you pretty much. And there's other stuff on the first floor as well. So the first floor wasn't for most of us. Their swag store was there with all the t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. Midwest labeled with the Midwest Gaming Classic. So if you wanted to shop store, you could. Second floor was like the Garcade had their presence there. A couple other arcades were there. And then the third floor was where it was at. It's where your vendor hall was, and it's where the gaming center was. And where your pinballs and stuff were. So all your classic gaming equipment was there on the third floor. The vendor hall was just jam packed, and I have to echo. I heard Chaotic mention this on Arcades Anonymous when they were summarizing the MGC last Wednesday. Chaotic mentioned he was exhausted walking through that vendor hall after about an hour, and I have to agree with him. I struggled. I wanted to get through the vendor hall because I wanted to see everything. I wanted to see if there's something I might want to pick up. So, but I have to say, before I even made it halfway through that place, that was it for me. I looked at the gal and I said, I'm really struggling right now. I'm really struggling. I don't do well in crowds. I don't like crowds. So I avoid them at all costs. You people are probably laughing. Well, why do you go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the most crowded race of the year, the Indy 500? I have my own isolated photo spot. So I still am able to avoid people for the most part. Most of the time I'm at the track. So there's a big fence that separates the photo area from the fans. So all that's in the photo area are like 16 guys and gals that also take pictures for other media outlets. And those guys are like family. Just as you in the arcade community are like family, those guys are my family at the track. So we look out for each other. So yeah, walking through that vendor hall was pretty stressful. After about halfway, but I made it. We did okay. And by the time we wound up leaving, I said, let's go get a burger and go home because I'm exhausted. And she was too. In fact, as I told everybody else there, she needed Sunday to recover. She's the same way as I am around people. She just doesn't like to be in big crowds. And so we're not big crowd people, but she rested on Sunday. I wanted to see the guys. So, and it wasn't as crowded on Sunday as it was on Saturday. Yeah, it's great. A lot of people are already talking about coming back. I know a couple people in Arcades Anonymous are trying to make it an every other year thing, like they do with Cleveland sometimes. By the way, the gal and I are kind of kicking around the idea of Cleveland. Because Cleveland is actually in or around my birthday. It's the 11th through the 13th. So my birthday's on the 13th of September. So we're kind of thinking about it. She, however, also targeted that time to go visit her parents. And I told her next time she goes visit her parents, I wanted to come too, because I haven't seen her parents in like 2 or 3 years. So I may not be able to make it to Cleveland. We were talking about it though. So yeah, I'm probably definitely going to do the MGC again next year. And we might do Pinball Expo later in the year as well. They were. I did not get to play Pokemon, and that's another thing about the Garcade yesterday. I could not play Pokemon. They have one Pokemon pinball at the Garcade. 2 people were hogging it most of the time we were there, and I'm like, oh god. And I'm not confrontational, so I'm not like going to walk up to the guy and say, "Hey, look, man, I know you love this game, but can we get in on a game?" It's just so I got to go there during the week, maybe after work or something, pop in there and see if I can get some time on. I told the gal, I want to see what Pokemon is like. I want to see what all the hype is. Never made it. I didn't get to play it at the MGC either. Yeah, I hear you, man. I really do. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Yeah, that would be even worse. I do have pictures. Let's see. Let's share those out real quick. This is gonna wind up being a long stream. I can see it already. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. By the way, hit the like or subscribe button if you haven't already. I do appreciate that number has crept up within the last week. So I apparently got a lot of mentions on some other streams, and I did. And thank you guys for that. Especially to Arcades Anonymous. Those guys gave me some mentions, and I really appreciate it. So I've seen my subscription count bump up a few. Appreciate it. Not quite to 400 yet, but I'll get there. But here we are. This is the board game room on the first floor. Here she is playing Foo Fighters. We also played Foo Fighters yesterday at the Garcade. It's okay. It's actually better than X-Men, I think, but it's not. I don't know. I wasn't too crazy about it. They had cars there again this year. Here's the Blues Brothers mobile. Here's this Kit, the Knight Rider car. Why he left the windows rolled up, I don't know, but it would have been better for him to roll down these windows. They're behind yellow caution tape, so worried about people reaching in or throwing a soda in it. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe he doesn't want people throwing soda cups in there. Kids doing it or whatever. But the glare off the windows is kind of impacting the photo, but it is what it is. Vendor hall crowds. This actually doesn't look too bad. People are pretty spread out in the middle here. But once you get deep into where the people are or the booths are, that's where it gets to be a problem. So just lots of good stuff there. Jurassic Park, skinned vehicle. 2 vehicles, actually. Got the Jeep. A little selfie of us. Because I told her, I looked at her, I said, we haven't taken a picture of us yet. So let's do that. Of course, the Batmobile, the Tumbler was there. And the older Batmobile from the series I remember from the 60s. Little inside view of the Batmobile. Then we have Wayne's World's Pacer, AMC Pacer. Actually, a friend of mine, parents actually owned a Pacer back in the day, and we actually drove in one to Kings Island in Cincinnati from Indianapolis. The dashboard of the Pacer. Here we have the Ghostbusters car. That's a staple every year. Here we are playing Beetlejuice. I actually really loved Beetlejuice. I hope Garcade gets one of these. I know he's mostly Stern, but I would love it if he got a Beetlejuice because I love this game. She did too. We had good fun with it. So I did get to play Beetlejuice. They had plenty of them there too. A little shot of the back glass there. Perfect artwork, I think. The artwork was great on that. Here we are playing Metallica. This is the newer Stern version, Insider Connected. And we loved it. The gal and I are toying with the idea of getting a real pinball, guys. We're talking about getting a real Metallica, and she's against it. She doesn't want to spend that kind of money on something like this. I understand that. It's a lot of money, but I kind of want to get it for her. And so I'm still toying with it. We'll see. So there might be a real pinball coming to the Quarter Deck Arcade. We'll see. She wants me to take that money and spend it on a really nice vacation for us. So I get it. She would rather sit on the beach, I think, and go play Metallica at another arcade. This is a shot of the playfield of the new Metallica. We also got to play Jaws. I love that table as well. I love Jaws. Jay, the Metallica goes, well, it's the same thing. It's the, they have the Pro, the Premium, and the limited versions of those tables. The Pro would be the one we'd go for, the cheapest one, which would be around $7,000, I think. So yeah. This is the older Metallica pinball they had there. It's a little fuzzy, the back glass, because for some reason the camera focused on her hair. But we played the older version there too. They had that one there. Got her to play a little bit of Pac-Man. Then, of course, there's Danky Kang and Syl. Everybody, you know, I keep thinking this is a real dude, because if you look at this statue, it looks real. Now, how a guy could stand in that position for hours on end, I don't know. But he sure does look real. And, of course, these are the games I bought. Poe is observing. There, say hi to Poe, everybody. And everybody that went there on Sunday got a free game, board game called Pictures. I haven't cracked this open yet. I don't know what it does, what the rules are. I couldn't tell you. I still have it, though. And the auction that you all heard about and saw James Hates Everything's live stream. You could actually see him live streaming right there in front of me as I took the picture. So that's, talk about your picture within a picture. That's me taking a picture of James live streaming. And this is Todd here. He actually bought a the iArcade. Was going to buy the other one too, but I don't see how he could have fit all that. Somehow they Jenga'd everything into his little car for the trip home, but he's the only one of us that bought anything at the auction that day. I did take some cell phone pictures. This is us playing Firepower. So Phil's doing his filming for his little walk and talk. And here you have Hockey Town here, and then you have Todd, and behind him is Stokjock. Excuse me. And this is us all saying goodbye. This is Sunday afternoon, and we're all pretty much tired, ready to go. But you know, it's always hard, you know, saying goodbye to some good people. And so we did. PD7 did his wrap-up filming, and then James did his wrap-up filming, and we had a good time with it. Stokjock there, front and center. Everybody say hi to Multicade Matt. Sands here. There you are, Sean and Todd. Here's PD7 filming James Hates Everything. Actually, I think PD7's holding James' camera while James starts his wrap-up video. This is the famous picture that Stokjock took, or I think it was Stokjock that took this picture and sent it to me, of Multicade Matt actually helping. You saw this picture posted to Matt's Facebook group. And by the way, if you haven't signed up for Multicade Matt's fan page, do so. It's pretty hilarious. So here he is carrying the iArcade for Todd out to his car. And that's that. That's all I have to share from the MGC. A great time. Yeah, it was tiring, but I wouldn't trade it. You know, it was worth it. Oh man. We've had some people pop in here in the chat that I'm recognizing. Let me scroll back up here. I got to catch up with the chat now. Jay Pace is here. Welcome, sir. And yes, you are correct, sir. Those two dudes, I got so upset with them. Let other people play. Stanzy B is here. Welcome, sir. And the Pokemon is a fun shooting pin. I can't comment one way or the other. I still haven't laid hands on it. I've seen it in person. I just haven't been able to play it. Want to, though. B Kirby is here. Welcome, sir. Good to see you, sir. All right, let's see. No, I do not have a BJ's near me. Let's see. Yeah, I bought that jersey a year or two ago just to show my solidarity and support for the Arcades Anonymous gang, and I've also thought it looked pretty cool. So I also have the jacket, and on this point, I wholeheartedly agree. They be me. That newer Metallica is way better than the old one. We enjoyed the old one at the Garcade yesterday, but would appreciate seeing the new one. Yeah, I may still surprise her with it. She may get pissed off at me for spending that money, but I'll tell her I saved up for it. So it didn't come out of the budget. I do need a Gorf, and I told her that yesterday. I said I want one of these in the arcade. So we'll see if she goes for that too. It was. I mean, things went so cheap during that auction. Uh, to answer your question, Danny, is because everything was cheap. Everything went cheap. I don't remember some of the exact prices, but um, yeah, you could have had a Bad Dudes. What did Bad Dudes go for? I think it was like $250. I mean, come on. I'm catching up. Just scrolling, just scrolling. We need to get to the build because I can't be here for 4 hours. We've already been here for an hour. Yes, we were. We were Robotron twins. Ooh, Jay Pace giving me some ideas on how to sell this to the gal. Yeah, good points. There you go. All right, we're caught up. Okay, let's get to the build. Let me mic up here. Hopefully this still works because I took this upstairs. All right, I got levels. Let's change the mic over. Wireless microphone, testing. I see levels in the audio mixer. That's great. We should be good to go. Don't need that anymore. Guys, before we dive into here, I'm going to run upstairs and get the two things that I forgot. And the big thing I need right now is water. So I will be right back. Let me switch the camera view over to what I'm going to use for the build. Close out all these windows. Where's my OBS? There it is. Let's go to cell phone and cam 2. All right, so, okay, a few things to discuss here before we really dive into this. I was going to do this. I was going to unbox this on my own. But the artwork and the 3D pieces to complete the Battlezone look and feel were done by Stokjock. Okay. So here we have our 3D printed pieces, and I'll make sure I have a good camera angle here. So here's the base. So this is your base. It's actually printed with a little bit of non-skid-ish to it, which is really kind of nice. But the actual Build-A-Cade sits on top of this base. And the artwork, the reason why we're going to have to do the side art later is because the artwork goes on the entire completed piece. So they're not two separate pieces. So we're going to do, whereas I would normally probably put the artwork on before we put the thing together, with this, we're going to do it at the end, with at least with the side art. So here we have our, what could be, you could also call this like a Nintendo kit. It kind of looks similar. It's a little different. If you've watched Glenn's video on this, the Battlezone build, you know that it's a little bit different. But so we'll put it together right away. So this is the part that's going to clip into the front of the Battlezone build itself. And then you take the Battlezone, the actual viewfinder piece, and just attach it to the top there. And then you have a completed Battlezone facade for the GRS Build-A-Cade. Okay, so we're going to do all this. We're going to stick this piece in later. And then the final part of the 3D printed piece are the joystick covers, the Battlezone joystick covers, which replace the red ball tops. So these just go right on top. Pretty cool. So those are the 3D printed pieces. Again, we have the artwork. We have the marquee, the Battlezone marquee. Then we have our side art. And Stokjock, I don't know if you can see that. If you're still with us, you can probably see how that came in the mail. Got this little lip here. It's separated from the backing and kind of bubbled up here. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. So we'll just be kind of gentle with it when we get to it. And then the other piece of artwork we had was the control panel. Now, what I was talking about with, and by the way, I ordered and received another multi-panel kit from GRS, and so I now have, this is why I couldn't do the build 2 weeks ago, is because I didn't have the twin joystick that we needed for the build, but I have it now, and I went ahead and so I had to cut out the artwork from the paper, but I also had to cut out the holes for the controls. And as you can see, and I'll probably do a close-up of this so you can see it. You can kind of see the rough cutting that I did there around the holes. So if there's a better way to cut out those tiny holes, I'd like to hear about it. But yeah, it was pretty rough. But we got it done. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks okay. Okay. Doing some house cleaning, folks. I did something that I'm trying to figure out how to correct. Hey, Meatball Saucy, good to see you. Yes, I'm aware the mic's on. We don't need to rehash that now, please. Should have never put the damn microphone on when I went upstairs. Oh, well, it is what it is. Here's Hockey Town with the win. Yeah, a hole punch probably would work. Maybe not on the bigger joystick buttons, but on the control panel or on the button holes, it probably would be just like the perfect size. I didn't even think of that, man. That's a great idea. I'm trying to figure out how to take somebody out of timeout. As the first person I've ever had to put in a timeout. So bear with me for a second. I've never done that before, so it's not something I really manage. I'm going to do that, Biggie D, but I'm trying to figure something out here. I guess I'm not going to figure it out. I'm sorry that the stream is kind of ground to a frickin' halt right now, but thanks to a particular individual, I had to take a measure that I'm trying to figure out how to undo that, but I can't figure it out, so screw it. It's your fault for making me take that action, so. All right, back to the stream. Let's unbox. We got our manual, we got our monitor. And we're that's the other thing I got to talk about. So Battlezone, as you know, is not a vertical game, okay? In some of the demo videos that I've seen Glenn do on the Battlezone build is that he uses the WaveShare 4-inch monitor that he's talked about and discussed. I don't have that right now in-house. So we're going to go with a vertical monitor for this build. I've already ordered a WaveShare 4-inch monitor. I've asked Stokjock to make the mold, 3D mold pieces I need for the monitor bracket. And so we'll do another stream down the line where we'll replace the monitor housing in the Battlezone Build-A-Cade. And then But for just understand that we're doing what we can with the kit monitor. All right. So here we have our marquee light. We've got the stock artwork. We've got side panel. And we've got the SD card in which we're not going to use. I've got my own SD card, which, by the way, hopefully is still up there. What did I do? What did I do with the SD card now? I'm flustered now. Oh, please, where's the SD card? I had a pre-built SD card right here with the Battlezone game already programmed. I'm losing it, guys. I really am. Oh, here it is. Oh, thank God. All right. So here we have our wiring harness, usual parts. You guys are all familiar with the parts. Some of you that are new aren't though. Monitor bracket for the vertical monitor. We've got our micro SD extension cable. That was layer 2. We're going to try and do this quickly because I've done it so many times that most of you already know what the parts and pieces are. Our parts packet, silicone. Here we have our DSI ribbon cable. You have to be very delicate with this piece. It connects the monitor to the Pi. This is your back plate for the Buildacade. All your cables, extension cables from the Pi are going to connect to this back, and then you have your 2 USB ports. You have a joystick on the back that you can use, and 2 buttons, 1 and 2. Your volume control, reset button, power on off, your power port, and then your HDMI external cable here. Yeah, you guys saw the damn thing, and I didn't. It was right by the scissors. Okay, our control or a coin door with buttons. So you press the coins for coining in. Another monitor or bezel. This is our the bezel. This is the bezel of the Buildacade that the monitor housing will attach to. Got our battery bracket, and we have our ball tops, which we're not going to use. We'll use the dust covers, but we won't use the ball tops because we're using the 3D printed. We got our marquee brackets here, pieces, and then the stock control panel, which we're not going to use. Here we have our bezel plastic, our extension cables, HDMI extension there. We have our marquee. Yeah, we have our marquee, which the Battlezone artwork will attach to. This is our center brace that goes in the middle to secure the cabinet together. The infamous top piece that goes to the top of the Buildacade. And the bottom base. Here is our kick plate where the coin door inserts into. By the way, there's no kick plate art for this. It's all going to be black, so that's kind of nice. And then our battery, rechargeable battery. And that should be it. We should be through the box, yeah. Okay, now artwork. What are we going to do up front here? Well, let's take care of the marquee for one. Like I said, the side art's going to go on after we get the cabinet together. We always use the manual as our guide. I've done so many of these, I could probably put it together in my sleep, but all right. Artwork. So we have our marquee here. Let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's take off the protective pieces. And we need the artwork. Hopefully I cut this. Let's just lay it on there for now. Yeah, it looks pretty perfect. I'm going to have to center it on here, I think. So by the end, when all is said and done, we should have a nice physical representation of Battlezone, even though the monitor is vertical. All right, so there's our marquee. All right. I centered it as best I could. Well, Stokjock, we'll find out, eh? You know, it's the beauty of doing these things live stream, you know. Sometimes you get to hear somebody go, you know, go places they weren't meant to hear. I don't know. All right, so we're going to take out the dust covers right away because I'm going to need those. Hockey Town, I think Stokjock was waiting for me to do it just to see if I was successful. He sent me the parts, so I think he was just waiting for me to be the guinea pig. So we're going to be the guinea pig today. All right, so we're starting by putting the bottom. I don't know if I should put these on or not, but we'll see when we put the, actually I could stick this in the base because we may not need these feet, seeing as how maybe the feet will just fit anyway. Yeah, see, he wants me to do it first. And I've been meaning to do this for a few weeks, and I just haven't been able to. All right. So I'm just going to lay the tray in here, and then it just kind of sits in there. Yeah. So this is the base of the Build-A-Cade, and this is the 3D printed Battlezone base. So it'll just kind of sit in there. I'm just kind of looking at the side pieces to see. There might be a little bit of a gap there between the base and the 3D printed Battlezone base. And we might have a problem with that putting the artwork on, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so step 1, unpack all parts. We did that. Step 2, apply the artwork. The only artwork we applied is I already took care of the control panel and the marquee. So we're good for artwork for now. So we're moving on. We did step 3. We put the feet base on. Step 4, we're going to attach the battery. All right, so you have to look at the orientation of the base. There's an arrow pointing towards the front of the base, and that way's the back. So they want us to put the wire at the rear right. It doesn't make any sense because if you look at it from the rear, it's the left. But just looking at the diagram, all right, well, we'll do it that way then. It should still reach. Yeah, I don't think it matters which way it goes. I don't know why I'm worried about that now. If you don't have a set of these micro screwdrivers, I highly recommend you get them. They come in really handy. Prince Vinny, to answer your question, I keep stock of Raspberry Pi 3Bs on hand. I have one more available to me behind this one, but I generally try to buy 2 or 3 every few months because I know I'm still going to be building these. All right, we need S6 screws, so we need the parts package. All right, so we need S6. There it is, self-tapping screws. Prince Vinny, they sell for around, it depends on where you go. If you go to Micro Center, you can get them for as little as $38 now with the price increases that they've gone through. I've gotten them as little as 25 from Micro Center, but of course all the memory stuff happened and price increases. So It is what it is. Amazon, if you went to Amazon to buy one, it'd be $50. So they're not cheap. Not anymore. They were cheap. Israel Gaming is here. Welcome, sir. All right, so we've got the base all ready to go. Now we're going to start working on the monitor. So we're going to open up our monitor here. All right, we're going to remove the protective film. And as I said, we're just going to use the stock monitor now, but I've got the wave share on the way that Glenn has used. So, yeah, tariffs, I'm sure, having an impact on the price. Okay. So the DSI connector, your little black covered piece here that is aimed at the top. So now we need to find the screen mount, which is over here. This would be the screen mount with four 2.5 by 5 millimeter screws, part number S3, and the bracket has a part number printed on it at F2, and F2 should be on the left side. So that's what we're going to do. Going to slip that right on top of the monitor, and we need 4 S3 screws. I don't see a package for S3 screws. That's because they're still in the bag. There we go. Hopefully all you can see okay. If you can't, if you're having a problem seeing what I'm doing, let me know. I'll zoom in my cell phone camera here if I have to. I probably should anyway. All right, so we have the monitor bracket now on the monitor. Now you just need to do the screws. All right, so that was step 5. Step 6, we're going to use the bezel overhang bracket. What'd I do with it? Oh, it's on the bottom. So with the overhang at the top, we're going to slip this on. It goes in the front. All right. Then we need 4 S4 screws. Try to keep a tidy table as I'm doing this. All right, so we just attach the bracket to the screws. Okay. All right. So this is our completed monitor assembly here. Now we're going to get to putting the Pi on. So step 7 has us do the 10 millimeter standoffs into the Raspberry Pi mounting holes. Now these are our standoffs, the gold plated stuff or colored screws. And the 10 millimeters are the smaller ones. There's two sizes. You got 20 millimeter, which are the longer ones here. And then you've got your smaller ones. So we're going to screw these, hand tighten them. You don't need to plier them into extreme tightness. Just put these in behind the monitor. Now, how this is going to go when we get the WaveShare monitor in, I have no idea, but we shall see. All right, so that was step 7, putting those screws in. All right, step 8 is to put the DSI connector into the DSI or put the DSI cable into the DSI connector. Now it says that the blue side facing towards the top. Now, as I've said in countless other streams, these aren't blue, they're black. So, I mean, you guys can be the judge. Let me get orientation here. That's not blue. That's black. All right, so facing towards the top. So you want your contacts facing down. You just shove it in all the way until you can hear it or feel it hit bottom. And then you press down. Well, first of all, you need to raise up the little black piece here gently. Don't force it. You will break it. And as I've said before, you'll have to go to Glenn and ask for a replacement. Now push down on the black bracket on both sides so that it locks the cable into place. And then this is the general test. I wouldn't recommend this. You could break the cable doing this. But this is how I tell that the cable is secure. That was step 8. Step 9, we're going to insert the, okay, we need to get the Pi out now. So there you can see, here's the Raspberry Pi 3B, asking about the price. There's what I bought this one for. I think I got this one from, yeah, I did get this one from Micro Center. Every once in a while I'll make it, the closest Micro Center to me is down in Illinois, down by the airport. So I'll, whenever I'm passing through, and I will be passing through this weekend, I'll probably stop in Micro Center and pick up, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these, just to have them on hand for projects around the house. All right, so here's our Raspberry Pi 3B. We've got, 4 USB ports. We've got an Ethernet port, which we won't use. We've got our sound port. We've got our monitor, or an HDMI port, which we'll use an extension cable on. And we've got our power port. Here's the DSI port on the Pi. And then here's our pin out. I believe they call this a CPIO interface or GPIO interface. So your ribbon cable will be connecting here. So step 9 has us put in the micro SD card extension cable. So that's this ribbon cable here. You have to be gentle with this cable as well. You can break it. I have. And I bought these. You can buy replacements for on Glenn's website. So I bought a couple just to keep on hand, just in case. So we need to insert the extension cable into the Raspberry Pi all the way. All right, it's in. So now we need to secure the Pi to the 10 millimeter standoffs that we put in with the 20 millimeter standoffs. Okay, so we just screw in the Pi to the back of the monitor. All right. Stokjock, I can do that. Will do. I'll pick up a couple for you. If you have an exact quantity, let me know. I can definitely pick some up for you. Because we all know Micro Center does not ship. So if you don't have a Micro Center near you, you gotta have somebody like me that can hit one up every once in a while and then ship them. I can definitely do that, Stokjock. All right, so that was step 9. Step 10, we need to connect the other end of this DSI ribbon cable, and you kind of need to bend the ribbon cable out of the way, the SD card extension off to the side. And there's a little yellow sticky thing that's securing the DSI connector. So we need to get rid of that so we can lift up the black connector. Come on. Oh, I broke it. Son of a cunt. Hopefully it'll be okay. All right. I didn't break it completely off, so we're going to go with it. You got to be very gentle. I can't stress that enough. Here, I'll hold it up for a close-up. Okay. This piece right here, this black piece, you have to be very super careful with. Try to lift it up. It doesn't come all the way off. It doesn't bend to the side on either side. It just comes straight up like a hair. So it opens up that connector so that you can slide the DSI ribbon cable. Well, I broke this side. So I've lifted it up. We'll see if it snaps down. If it doesn't, we'll have to get another Pi because this side is on the Pi. And again, you want to stick it in there until it hits bottom and then push down on both sides. I'll do the test. Okay, so I'm good. Even though I broke that side, it still snapped into place after the fact. So I'm good. All right, now we need to plug in all of our cables here. So we need to plug in the power, the HDMI, and audio. So let's break out our cables. There's one cable in here we're not going to use because it's the Pi 4 power cable. We don't need it because we're not using a Pi 4. We're using a Pi 3. throw that away. All right. So we need the Pi 3 power, which is this guy, and you need the right angled connectors obviously go on the Pi side. So we slide that in. Now we need the HDMI, which is this guy. Take off the end cap. Again, right angled bracket. Snap that into place. Now we need the audio cable. Right angled bracket. I made this mistake, guys. I put in the straight edge connector in, and then tried to put the thing together. It wouldn't go together. I didn't know why, and it's because I didn't use the right angled bracket side of the connector. So slide that in. All right, moving right along. That was step 11. Step 12, we need the wiring harness. So that's this big piece. Let me take the twist tie off to loosen up the cables. All right, one of these ends on the, so obviously this is our DSI, or not DSI, this is our GPIO ribbon cable connector, and one side of it has pin 40, and it's marked. There's a cable on the end marked pin 40. Now what the documentation says is pin 40 is at the bottom right of the connector. Now the way I look at it is I look at the diagram, pin 40 is down by the USB ports. So we find pin 40. We make sure that that's down by the USB ports. That'll get your orientation correct. Slide it all the way down, and our harness is together. All right. Okay, now we're going to start assembling. Here we go. So our monitor assembly is done. And we're going to need this side. And we're just going to slide the monitor assembly. And these are 3D printed, so I mean, everything has grooves and notches for everything to just notch in correctly. That was step 13. Step 14, we're going to put the marquee together. We've already removed the protective film. We don't need to do that. And we've already applied the artwork that we need. So we're going to get the marquee ready. We're going to have our two brackets here. And these brackets also notch in pretty simply. So you get your bigger piece goes on one side, and then the smaller piece. I got this the wrong way. You have to do it so that the little lip that the marquee slides into is on the outside. All right, so that's our marquee brackets. Hopefully this lines up pretty good. Looks like it will. A little bit of seepage from that, but that's okay, I think. So the marquee is in. All right, we need to find the 14-pin connector from the wiring harness. for the control panel. That's this guy right here. Need to plug that in. Actually, might it tells you to do it now, but I had a problem last build I did in which the middle bracket wouldn't go in, but that was with a different controller, so we'll see. So we slot the control panel into place. That's step 15. Now we're going to take the front piece here, slide that into position. That's the step 16. Step 17 is to put the bezel in. Now this looks cracked. We're going to see after we take the protective film off, but if it's fine, but I may have to replace it. I do have a replacement. Oh, nope, it's just the plastic. All right, we're fine. It's just the protective cover. And it's on both sides, so make sure you get both sides. All right, so we're going to slide this cover in. Do I have it the right way? That's not the right way. Well, that's not right. Just get in the hole. I don't know why this isn't fitting correctly. Because it needed to go that way, I guess. Why am I struggling with this today? There. That's how it should be. Mike Cockherch, you made a comment about WrestleFest. My Sam's Club is not selling them. They've had 4 on the floor forever. Nobody's buying them. I've seen people stop and look at them, but I can see those things dipping down into the 300s, maybe even lower, if they just want to get rid of them. So I'm kind of holding out. If it drops to a certain level, I might jump on it. All right, so that was step 17, the bezel. And now we put the other side on. I kind of use the marquee as a guide. There we go. That's better. Now it's snapped into place. So it's taking shape now. Okay. So now here's the part that Stokjock always looks forward to, is the top. So what I'd been doing, for many of my builds is putting the bottom in first. Well, you need some wiggle room in order to wiggle this top piece in. So here we go. We're going to do it. Oh, that's not good. No. It went in all the way, but then I realized the top part wasn't in the groove. I knew things are too good to be true. What the hell? There we go. All right, so we get to this point, and now we got to figure out a way to finagle this in so that it goes in all the way. First of all, well, my cock hurts. What I'm thinking about doing is just buying it for a complete mod. So if I can get it down to 250, I'll buy a couple of them just for mods. Won't buy it for WrestleFest. I have no nostalgia for that game. Why would I buy it outright? Only a few people have nostalgia for that game. Come on, dude, help me out here. I don't know why I struggle. Now we're starting to separate the cabinet pieces. We don't want that. Oh, damn it. Sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful cabinet. I don't see it as an addition to my arcade. Do I see it as a Moon Patrol? Potentially. I might have to get a new control panel for it. But there we go. Oh, come on. Really? Now the marquee is out. Struggling. I'm struggling. Damn it. come on. You know, these are fun things to do until you get to certain points of their build. I wish they could, you know, fix this top. There it is. Oh my God. I don't even know what I did that it went in so well that time. Weird. All right, that was step 19. Step 20, we're going to put the base in. Again, with the arrow pointing to the front of the cabinet. There we go. Now our cabinet's taking shape. Realize you guys can't see. Zoom out a little bit. But yeah, it's taking shape now. Ski Bammer, I don't know about that. I don't use the stock artwork at all. I've just been applying it directly. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you could if you tried, but I've never tried. Okay, so step 21 is to find the 2-pin connector. Which is right here. You got to kind of unwrap it from the harness so it's free. Just want to take care to guard the DSI ribbon cable here. All right, so what we need is we need our marquee light, and this is your marquee assembly. You want to shove this 2-pin connector wire through here, connect it to the LED strip here, and then we shove it into the little tray here where the marquee light goes. All the way. And then here's the center bracket. This is the part that we had a little difficulty with the last time, but that was, I think, due to the control panel we were using, which had 2 ports on it. So what we need to do is pull all of these wires up. And then we need to take our center brace and put it in. Yeah, that's going to go in just fine. All right. So our center brace is in. We didn't, because of the control panel we're using with just one connector, it cleared the connector fine. So gotta be careful of that DSI ribbon cable. I don't want to have to keep hitting it. All right, well, now we need to put the USB extensions in, and these 2 USB ports are going to go into the Raspberry Pi, and this is going to go to the back panel. So just kind of gently, I put them in the bottom ports on the Raspberry Pi because it's just easier to access. Make sure they're all the way in. All right. USB extensions are in. So we need to now work with the coin door. And this is, again, that little trick. You want to open the audio port that's on the coin door and pull it. Don't break it, but just kind of, push it in as much as you can to get this other end of it as close to the inside as possible and not loose so that you can slide this in properly. So we need to find the connector for this, which is this guy right here. And we need to feed that through the control panel. Make the connection. And then slide that into place. One more check of this rubber piece here. Okay, and then we just need to pop it, snap it into place. Like that. And I have the stick, sometimes when you stick these in, the left button sticks. If you push in on the control panel, that's still, it happens on every other build, really. I don't know why. This button's fine. This button sticks. But if you press in on either side of the button, it'll pop back up. I don't have access to VPX. I'm waiting to clear the hurdle of the Discord, and hopefully I'll have access to the beta soon. So I don't have access to VPX. And as for the crock pot, no, we're not crock potting today. There wasn't a good looking rump roast that I could use, so we're going to make chili. It's not cold, but it's been kind of yucky. All right, that was step 25, putting that in. Okay, now we're going to start attaching the back. Okay, so we're going to attach oh, I lost my camera. Oh, come on. There we go. That's better. All right. Damn it. All right. So we need to attach this piece, the SD card, using 2 S4 screws. So that's 2 of these guys. All right. This is a tricky part, getting this screw in. Nowhere near the hole. So another tricky part of this build is getting these in. If you have big fingers, it's kind of awkward. So we're attaching the SD card extension to the back panel so we can put the SD card in. The obvious beauty of having the SD card accessible and then on the outside is that you can swap SD cards very easily without having to take the thing apart. So if you have multiple OSs, if you want the thing to boot up differently, you have an SD card for every game that you love, swap it out that way if you want. All kinds of ways. Glenn's giving you all kinds of ways to go about building this thing, which is the nice part. We need some S5 screws, so we're going to attach the HDMI cable now next. Kind of thinking I'll go for a long run after this just to blow off some steam. So we find our HDMI extension. We get it oriented properly, and then we feed it to the back. Line it up, get a screw, start the screw. See if you can start it with your fingers. If not, just grab the screwdriver real quick and just try to guide it in. I'm right-handed, so this is really awkward. Oh, come on. Okay, that's one. All right, HDMI cable is in. All right, 28, step 28, plug the audio cable into the audio jack. Audio cable, simple enough. All right, now step 29, plug the USB power cable. That would be this guy into the USB port. I'll turn it this way so you guys can kind of get a view. So we're going to use the USB port here. Okay. And the USB extension, that's the cable that we put. Yeah. So this goes into this port right here, down by the HDMI cable. There we go, snaps right in. Oh, we got to do the main wiring harness. That's this black cable right here. And that goes into the black port at the top of the board on the back plane. Yeah, I'm all the way. All right. All right, make sure that the main power switch is set to the off position, and now you're going to connect the battery. So that's the last wire and the last connector. Just make sure we have it oriented correctly. Now we're going to work on the Battlezone. Well, we'll get it together first. Okay. Why am I not seeing what I'm doing? Jesus. Sometimes shedding light is the best thing you can do. All right, so that was step 30, plugging in the battery. Now we just need to put the back on. Now you just got to be careful with this whole mess so you're not ruining your wires. Just kind of tuck it all nice and neat in there. All right, and here we have our built unit. We have our control panel artwork here, and our marquee is in place, but we need to get the side art on. And to do that, actually, before we do the side art, we got to put the faceplate on. So let's set this thing into its home. There it is. Now it's seated. And actually, okay, now it sits flush. You know what that gap was? It was for the side panels. So the side panels fill out the sides pretty easily. So here's our Battlezone base. Looks pretty good, actually. Oh, guys, you guys are making me hungry now. I'm pretty sad I didn't make a roast. All right, so now we have our piece here. Let's get that snapped into place. I'm going to use the light here just to make sure I'm putting it where it needs to go. This is the part Stokjock was waiting for, I think. Snaps right in, Stokjock. Snaps right in. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, it just popped right into place. You do have to clear these joysticks with the bottom piece here. So that was a problem, but. All right, now let's try the faceplate here. Oh, and Stokjock, one more comment about the print here of the, and I'll turn on the light here so you can kind of see. But right here where the faceplate connects, I don't know, you probably can't see it. Right here, there's a little bit of plastic that you peel off here from the print to open these up. So that's, just know that if you look at a fresh printed piece and there's still some plastic here covering up this part, that plastic needs to come out. And that's to allow this piece to clip in there like so. And it's taking shape, guys. All I got to do is get the artwork done now and put the covers on. Oh, I got to see where this, I got to see this piece of artwork here. Where does this go, Stokjock? Do you know? I got to look at original Battlezone art to see where it goes. So you printed this, but I don't know where it goes. Let me look. See if I can pull up. A picture of the Battlezone arcade game. Oh, okay, I know where it goes. I know exactly where it goes. Okay. So that artwork is going to go right here. So let's snap this piece off. Yeah, see, that's what this stream is for, man. It's for learning about this build. So it's going to go on the viewfinder piece. What's interesting here is it's going to bend. It goes right here. And make sure it's centered up. And I'm going to bend it down here. But on a real Battlezone arcade, this is just one straight piece down, and it just slides on there. So that looks fine. So there. So there's how it goes. Oh, my light is terrible. Why is that? Lighten up the camera a little bit so you can see that where that sticker went. So far, you know, it's a typical GRS build, and the parts and pieces, as long as they're printed properly, which they are, Stokjock, snap right into place. So it's been a fairly decent build. All right, let's work on the artwork now. We're going to do the easy piece first. So let's line it up. It looks a little off. Yeah. I don't know where the artwork came from, but it's a little off. So I line it up to the cabinet. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to line the primary artwork, the top, up to the cabinet. And we're going to tape it down. So make sure I get it lined up the way I want it, the way it looks really good. We're going to tape it down. Now, here's the problem, okay? And I'm going to point this out to you, Stokjock, especially since you're going to be building one of these. So I have the artwork lined up here on the top part. But look at the bottom piece. Okay, it's off. It's off significantly. So I got to cut this piece away somehow and bring it down a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be. May have some problem with the artwork here. Let's look at the other side. I got the same issue on the other side, guys. So I line up the top, but the bottom piece is off significantly. So I don't know if I want to go ahead and apply the side art right now because there's an issue. I'll tell you what I'll do though. I'll tape it on there for now. But we need to figure out why the art is off. I assume, Stokjock, you printed this off the PDF files that were available off Glenn's site. Well, I don't think it's your fault, Stokjock. I mean, if the template files are wrong, they're wrong. That's not you. That's on whoever did the artwork template. But yeah, that's a problem. This difference, because you've got these. Yeah, here I'll turn it in here. You can see how much is left over at the top there, and I can't just trim that because it's still off. The corner is off, and it's sitting all the way in the base. So we need to get with whoever made these template files and see if they can figure that out. Because I'm going to leave it like this, though. I'm going to tape on the artwork like this for now. Because it is still a cool build. We just need to get the artwork right. All right, so we have our, let's put our covers on. And we'll put our joysticks. Oof. That is taking some struggling to get in. Oh my goodness. There's a plastic piece inside of there that looks like it's blocking. Oh no. Maybe it's just supposed to sit on top there. I don't know. But I can't move up. So there might be a little bit of a problem with these, the joystick covers. I don't know why, and I'm not going to be able to illustrate this on camera. But in the, and maybe I can, if I angle it right. In the hole in the base of these things, there's a piece of plastic that goes across the hole that's preventing the cover from sliding all the way down on the joystick. I don't know how I'm going to cut that out. Well, let's see. Maybe an X-Acto knife will do it. I'm trying, guys. I really am. I got it loose. There, I got it. There it goes. That's better. Whew. All right, so you got to take an X-Acto knife and get this little piece out of the base. Okay, Stokjock, I understand. I get it. I don't know much about 3D printers, but I can understand that concept. So we'll do the same for the other side. And by the way, a headlamp is a must for this because you have to be able to see inside that hole. And it's a dark place. I gotta get that piece out too. Patience is a virtue. Come on, get out of there. I think I got it out, but I don't know where it went. There. All right. So we have our two control covers on. Okay, Stokjock, appreciate it. You're working off a template, right? Somebody else did the template. Am I not correct? If I had to measure just to see, I don't have a measuring tape down here, do I? I don't think I do. It's like 1/4 of an inch. But, you know, that's not exact because, again, this is not fully applied artwork. But you can see what that difference is here. Right there. I'm trying to angle the camera. I'm working. There we go. Okay. You can see that difference. So it's got to go down like maybe 1/4 of an inch on the side art. All right. So we're going to stop here with the artwork, but let's go ahead and here's this SD card is my standard image. It boots automatically up into Mrs. Pac-Man. But before the show, I went in and I changed it from Miss Pac-Man to B-Zone. So it should boot right up into Battlezone. So I need power. Unfortunately, I have the one I used from the last build. And we have a charging light. That's good. All right. So let's fire this puppy up. All right. We got a little bit of a bleed here, and that's because of my cut of the marquee. So yeah, I might look at replacing that and do a little bit better job at cutting it. So I got a little bit of a light bleed up here on the marquee, but not much I can do about it now. So we'll take the Battlezone cover off. It's cool, Gamer Fridge, but it's not done. The artwork needs work, so we're not going to mess with the side art right now. And obviously, I'm using the vertical monitor, the stock monitor, so it did boot right into Battlezone. I do have the wave share monitor on order, so we'll probably replace this stock monitor with the wave share. So let's coin in. Yep, it moves around. I'm trying to find the fire button. It's not firing. Oh, the fire button is the coin door button. We need to do some button remapping on this. Or maybe that's by design. So when you use the joysticks, as you do, you just got to dip down and hit that button. So the fire button is actually the right coin in button. It moves great. Oh my God, the controls are terrific. All right, game over. This is awesome. If we get the artwork figured out, man, this is going to be an amazing cabinet addition to my Build-A-Cade collection. Great controls, great controls. I realize you guys are struggling to see. I'm trying to angle this. Ooh, got him. Nailed him from the distance. Sounds good. Oh, he got me. Awesome game, man. So we get that wave share monitor in here. It's going to look great. It looks great right now. The graphics are a little choppy on the vertical monitor because it's so compressed. But, you know, from a display piece perspective, this looks terrific. So let's put this piece back in. Oh man, that is so choice. I love that. Like I said, we get the artwork figured out, man, and this is gonna be like, guys, this is gonna be like a staple in your GRS Buildicade collections. I swear to God, that's how good it looks, even with the artwork not on completely. The 3D pieces are perfect. The one little caveat being, you got to remember to take an X-Acto knife or something to get that little piece out of the inside of the joysticks covers. But so yeah, the wave share pieces and the artwork and man, this thing, we'll get this thing dialed in. Perfect. I'm really interested in that wave share monitor. Oh boy, guys. Trying to darken the monitor a little bit. Ooh. She looks great. I wonder if we could talk to the people that actually did the artwork. And they're probably going to say, well, you got to cut the bottom piece off. But then if you cut the bottom piece off, you're still going to have that black gap between the base and the top part of the artwork. So if we were to cut that bottom off now today, yeah, I could do that. And then I could just apply it to the base. But then you're still going to have like a 1/4 inch gap between the top art and the bottom art. So I don't know how Glenn did his, because his looked pretty good. Maybe he had to go in and extend the artwork, but I would have thought they would have corrected that then. I don't know. It's a beautiful cabinet, though, so far. I mean, the 3D pieces just make it rock. I do recommend this. Once we get the artwork nailed down, this is going to be a beautiful cabinet. So, oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Here we are. The end of another show. God, it's been 3 hours. Stokjock, could you shoot me the link where you actually got the artwork from? I'm sure it's on the maker page, wherever you downloaded all these files from. And I'll see if I can't. Maybe the author is on that page. I don't know if it's Glenn or if it's Gary, whatever his name is, that did these pieces. Yeah, it looks great. It is kind of a bummer that we couldn't put the artwork on, but we'll get there. All right, so what's next for me? Okay, so I said at the beginning of the show, yeah, Campbell. I knew that was his name. I don't know if his name's Gary or Glenn. I can't remember. I said at the beginning of the show, next weekend I'm going to be in Indianapolis at the race. So I'll probably do a post here or there, maybe even shoot a video, a short, whatever, from where I'm at. It's going to be a quick weekend for me. I'm going down on Friday. The race is Saturday. I'm coming back Sunday. So it's a very quick weekend. And then back to work on Monday, or actually Tuesday. I took Monday off. and then I'm home. I'll probably do a show the weekend in between the the Grand Prix and the 500. I'll do a show because that's qualifying weekend, 8,500 qualifying weekend, and so I'll be home. And then the week after that, I'll be in town. It'll be a longer weekend for me because I'll be there for Carb Day. I'll be in back in Indianapolis for the 500. So just know that streams the month of May are going to be fewer, not every week, every other week. And yeah, so give Stokjock plenty of time to work on the artwork. Okay. Well, I'm going to call it because I have some things I need to do today before I go back to work tomorrow. So, guys, thank you for hanging out with me on the stream. I'm sorry for the little hiccup that I had earlier 2 hours ago. Apologize for that. It'll definitely get cut out. So, thank you for hanging around with me. Thank you for your patience and understanding, and thanks for joining me on this build. As I always say every week, have a great week, a safe week. Hug your loved ones too. I'll throw that in there too, because a friend of mine lost someone very important to him, and you got to let people know how you feel about them before it's too late. And I've been a big believer of that, and I've forgotten it, and I think we all forget it from time to time. But hug your loved ones and stay safe next week. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hit the like and subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you next time. And always remember that I got next.